Howdy again. So today we are dealing with the book of Mark in our 412 Devo video. So we will be dealing with books as we go all the way through. Like we talked about yesterday, we dealt with Matthew. Today we're dealing with Mark. The author is not stated, but it's attributed to Mark. Or to John Mark, excuse me. He was also a missionary companion of Paul and Barnabas later on, and an associate of the Apostle Peter. So it's attributed to him that he's written this book. The date of this is probably AD 60s, which was during the Roman persecution of Christians. And the key theme of this book is that Jesus is God's son, who is a suffering servant for all people. So that's kind of the key theme about what Mark will deal with. Some of the details about this book: it is the second book in the four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. However, many believe this to be the first book written. And so it's the first in that chronological order, but not in the order of that the Bible has them in the canon. But it is the briefest and most active of the biographies, of the four biographies of Jesus. The majority is repeated in Matthew and Luke, but Mark addresses, whereas Matthew did a Jewish audience, Mark is going to address a Gentile audience, and he's shown as a man of action. He's shown as a man who has divine capabilities of healing sick people. He can control nature. He can battle the powers of Satan. So he will portray this suffering servant throughout, but who has all power over all of these things. He'll talk about some of Jesus' interaction with hostile doubters. He'll talk about his interaction with his family that didn't believe in him, the people who think he's crazy, the ones who take offense at him, the ones who want to kill him. So the idea is that there's this abasement or this lowering of Jesus in the eyes of the people, like, so that you didn't get this idea that Jesus was just this major person, this VIP celebrity that everybody wanted to follow after. There were lots of people that despised Jesus. Well, it goes on to say in Mark chapter 10, whosoever will be great among you shall be your minister, and whosoever will be the chiefest shall be servant of all. For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many. So there's these verses that prove why Jesus was being portrayed this way, was to show that he came as the greatest to be the least for our freedom and for our sin. Some of the quotable verses, chapter 1 talks about, I will make you fishers of men. Chapter 10 talks about, don't suffer, allow the children to come unto me, for as such is the kingdom of heaven. One of the unique things about Mark is that many believe Mark is the unnamed spectator at Jesus' arrest. It's mentioned in Mark's gospel where it says, and there followed him a certain young man having a linen cloth cast about his naked body. The young men laid hold on him, and he left the linen cloth and fled from them naked. So there's just that kind of mention of him in Mark. So what do we take away from Mark? After we read it, what do we take away? That suffering and loss aren't necessarily bad things. Now, in the human perspective, they are. But for Christians, they're really a pathway to real life, because the Bible tells us that we're going to lose things, that we're going to suffer persecution. So we're going to go through all of those things. So it is a reassurance that we are, in fact, following what Christ wanted us to do, but also gives us reassurance that Christ himself went through complete suffering and complete pain. The teen of the day today is Caitlin Dotson. Make sure you pray for her. She comes and visits with us every now and then, so make sure you pray for her. She has a great senior year at Ben Davis and just has a good day today. Have a great day.